Have you ever heard that classic comedy bit from the late George Carlin, 7 words you can't say on television? Well, George was right, not supposed to say those words, but sometimes with the combination of racing and live TV, it happens. Today's episode of the story, we look back at a memorable and emotional interview with sprint car great Jon Stanbrough. When July rolls around, that means it's time for Indiana Sprint Week. Sprint Week has been going strong since 1988, and they're all set for another big round here in a week or so, with 8 races over 9 nights at different Indiana tracks. You can count on it. It'll be hot and sticky. By the middle of the week, everybody's all worn out. The racers are testy with each other. The officials are bickering among themselves. It's great fun, really. Actually, it is great fun, and it's a bucket list item for any race fan anywhere. Some of the best racing you're going to see all season long. So here's the backstory on the interview we're about to see. It's Lawrenceburg Speedway for Indiana Sprint Week, July 24th, 2003. I was working as a pit reporter for a 22 race series that USAC produced that aired on Speed TV. I was a pit reporter. Rick Benjamin and Larry Rice were in the booth. I was really proud to work with Rick and Larry. I felt like we produced some really good television that year, and a lot of people were watching on Speed TV. But we had gone well over our 2-hour window with the last couple of shows on Speed, and the executives with the network had let us know that they were none too pleased with us going long on our shows. So when we got to Lawrenceburg that night, we were bound and determined that we were going to fit in our 2-hour window and be finished at our 10 o'clock out time. And to give ourselves a cushion, we decided we would come on live with the 3rd heat race in the program. Well, that's not how it worked out. I don't remember the exact details. I think they overwatered the racetrack. Might have been an equipment problem, I just don't remember. But I know that we just started way late. And when we came on at 8 o'clock, instead of the 3rd heat race, USAC was just pushing the 2nd of 2 non-qualifier races. We had 68 cars there that night, and just as we got started, man, we were already way behind. I remember watching in the push-off lane there, watching them push that 2nd non-qualifier as we came on live, and all I could think about was, man, we're not just going to be late. We could go an hour over here. Rick Miner and the guys at Speed, they're going to have a meltdown when we hear from them tomorrow, and I just thought, we are doomed. This is absolutely going to be a disaster. But you know, it was one of those nights where the racing gods smiled upon us. The program, despite the heavy racetrack and all those cars, the program clicked off perfectly, and we finished up just a minute or 2 before our 10 o'clock out time with just enough time to squeeze in a winner's interview before we signed off. And what an interview it was! J.J. Yaley had come into that night as the hottest racer in America. He had already won 10 USAC National Sprint Car races, including 3 of the previous 5 Indiana Sprint Week races over the previous couple of nights. So everybody coming in wanted to figure out, how's anybody going to outrun J.J. Yaley? But Jon Stanbrough in Paul Hazen's car outran J.J. to the finish, and it set up a memorable, emotional moment with Jon in victory lane. Let's have a listen.
Went up and over. Well, Jon Stanbrough, who told us before we started tonight that he has never been this focused in a race car. A flag-to-flag win, Dave Argabright in victory lane.
Well, he's normally pretty calm and subdued, but not tonight. Jon Stanbrough, I know you're going to tell me that Paul Hazen gave you a great race car, but I've got to ask you, how much of this one was pure determination?
It was both. A lot of determination, and I got to thank Paul for, man, we tore the shit out of this car all week. And,
good job.
Thanks, man.
That's an emotional moment. Paul Hazen been at this a long time. Jon Stanbrough, is this your biggest win?
No, I think Eldora was earlier in the year, but man, we've been fighting and trying to kill ourselves all week, so it's really good to come back and get this thing handling right and win the race.
I love it when winners cry right here.
7th career feature victory in USAC for Jon Stanbrough. His second.
You know, I still love it when winners cry. In today's world of streaming, profanity on the air is just no big deal, but in network television, it's a very big deal, and it can cost a network a lot of money in FCC fines. But as far as I know, we were flying under the radar that night, and Speed never had any repercussions from John's little slip there in Victory Lane. Another cool element to all of this is seeing Paul Hazen in Victory Lane that night. Paul just recently took his place as an inductee in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, one of the most enduring and prolific car owners in history, 66 years of fielding a sprint car. Unbelievable. And for my 2 cents, I hope Jon Stanbrough makes it to the Sprint Car Hall of Fame someday too. Well, that's it for today's story. I hope you'll get out to Indiana Sprint Week and be a part of something really cool. Until next time, once again, thanks for watching The Story.